this goes back to we write our own narrative. Mm-hmm. So when you go to a school and you open up a history book, what they do is they teach you, okay, they teach you about plantation life. And all they show is the trauma. All they show is the whippings, the hangings, the picking the cotton, the bloody feet, the bloody hands. So this is all you know. Because up until Courtney, that's all I knew of the plantation. That's all I even thought about the plantation. Like, why in the hell would I ever want to step foot on somewhere or something that caused so much pain and trauma to my people, to my ancestors? Courtney changed that narrative for me. She gave me a different outlook, to say. And she said that I said it, but I got it from her. But there was life on these plantations. You know, without them there would be no us. Right. So they made families here. Right. They laughed, they joked, they partied, they did everything that we do. You know, in spite of the trauma, they still managed to get through it. And through them, we have us. So we owe them.
Yeah.
We owe them.
Welcome to a What in the Word Wednesday, where we are going to jump a little bit right into it because I know once again we are running a little bit behind schedule. Hubby wasn't feeling the best, so we're trying to let some antibiotics kick in. Not antibiotics, what are those? Some cough syrup. We were trying to let some cough syrup kick in, and hopefully we'll be able to have enough breath for the entire podcast. But let's get it going. I am Courtney Omega Doss and
Devon Doss.
And this is a Wednesday edition of What in the Word. Thank you all for joining. We had such a good time, you all, with our anniversary. Hey, Naima. Just hope you feel better. Thank you.
I'll be all right.
But we had such a good time with you all at our anniversary little mukbang chat. We're still getting well wishes for our next year. There are other people that have already pledged they want to be a part. They want to be a part in person of the next year broadcast. So we'll see about that. But we want to thank everyone again for tuning in. It was real fun. And we didn't do any questions today. We did not do questions. Wednesday. What in the Word Wednesday? So we have to clear the jar tonight. We're like I said, we're gonna jump right into podcast and jump into the topic. And I want to say that the reason why I thought this was a really good time to have this discussion is because I'm sure by now all of you know, or at least the ones that are tuning in, you know by now that Joe Biden has dropped out of the race and Kamala Harris is now pursuing the highest office in the land. As she prepares ahead of the Democratic National Convention, I believe, which is in 2 weeks in Chicago. Chicago, y'all better turn up and turn out. And I ain't talking about to wish that no well wishes. I'm talking about speaking up about what has been going on in your communities and making sure that is not a comfortable, that is not an easy road to toe. That's what my personal opinion is. I think that we need to be aware, and they always say this with every election, that we need to be aware now more than ever. But
aware of what?
Aware of how important this election is, And again,
because it's more important than the last one.
Right. This is what they say every election, election cycle. And we are going to have a special guest.
I need you to hold my hand like that.
What?
Hold my hand like that. This is it.
Really? That's what we're doing?
Yeah.
Stop. Anyway, we are having a special guest on next Wednesday. My very own, the Fannie Lou Hamer to my Harriet Tubman. Monica Delancey is going to be joining us. It's talking about voting, something that Black people should be into in this day and age. And we're going to have also another special guest from the.
Wait a second. Talk about.
Yes.
Talk about. Monica coming on?
Absolutely. Next Wednesday. She's already confirmed. Monica. Yes.
Big sis.
Yes.
Well, yeah, still big sis.
Yeah, still my big sis. I'm the youngest. Yeah.
Really?
But you saying we're the same height? She's a little shorter than me.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Because she kind of walk
Wow.
She don't walk straight up, so I can't reach her.
Yeah, she's a little shorter than me.
But I don't know. I feel like I got to put a shirt on or something. Like
you should definitely put a shirt on for Monica. Do y'all think the world is ready for a female president? No, I don't. And I think it's going to be a lot of backlash if she wins.
She ain't.
I think that she might.
Only way
I think she might pull this off. Yeah, I think she might pull this off.
Only way she wins this election is if they steal it for her. We talking that whole hanging Chad thing that was down in Florida, right? That whole big that.
But I think that is a given. That's exactly what they are. That's exactly what they would do. And I don't think that the world is really ready for that as much as, and we'll get into it more next week as well with Monica Delancey. Please make sure you tune in next Wednesday. That is going to be a great show because we're going to have not only one but two guests. We're going to have someone from the from the pulpit to also weigh in on is voting something biblically.
I'm just hearing all this for the first time.
You are. Well, they are not confirmed, so I don't want to say. Okay. Yeah, but we're going to have someone from the pulpit. But the particular person of interest has not confirmed as of yet. But Monica is definitely confirmed.
It's not.
But we're going to have
a second guess.
You will not.
Why not?
Because we're going to have someone from the pulpit.
I mean, I could kind of be from the pulpit.
You cannot just know.
I gave a what's name when I was doing.
I don't even know what a what's name is.
Speech.
What's the name?
When I was doing old girl, they made you throw them pants away.
Oh, Juanita Bynum? You did not do a good impersonation, and you didn't even know what to call it. Anyway, I do not play when it comes to people that are ordained to bring that word, and so we're going to be going. So we're going to have a member of the clergy. Absolutely, we're going to have a member of the clergy, and I do believe they're going to do it. I do believe they're going to do it, but I'm just not confirmed 100%. So at any rate, please definitely stay tuned and updated because next week's topic is going to kind of, I believe, pick up where this one leaves off, and it's really going to weigh in. So the question today is, are reparations biblical? Or are they political? I am definitely one to I want to say that when it came to this topic, I'm going to be honest. I am very personally invested in it. Just because for years, and I do mean for years, like maybe going into now my second decade of doing this work and researching and coming up with just different avenues of ways for reparations to be achieved. Very recently have I started to just entertain the notion that is it biblical, quite honestly, because I never thought of it as even being significant to ask whether it was biblical, because I was literally just thinking with flesh, just to be fully transparent. thinking with flesh and thinking of from more of a political background, from a fundamental foundation as far as with economics. I'm thinking from that background. I'm thinking from more of a human, just is it right that, we have been treated this way and have never been really strategically or specifically placed with any type of support or any type of retribution for the way we were treated. But I just recently have started to really entertain the idea or the notion of, hey, is this biblical? And I have been more so interested in having this conversation with you, with the network and with our audience, because of the fact that I follow a lot of conservative content creators and influencers. And it just seems like again and again and again, most of the people that weigh in, or most of the people that address this topic, they come from saying that reparations are, and these are conservative Christian content creators, might I add, but they come in saying that it comes from a victim mindset. And I was just discussing, we were discussing last night over dinner, and I said, I haven't found a voice or reasoning that can address this topic. And that doesn't put us in a victim mindset, but says that 1 and 2 can still, coexist, that we can say, yes, we deserve it, but there should be some type of Christian led or Christian based or scripture based doctrine that says, that speaks to reparations being a biblical concept. And I said, I'm just surprised that I'm not finding any of these type of voices to base this content on. And, my husband said, well, we should be that voice. And so, I said, we should. We should. So here we are today.
Let me read a couple of things first.
Yeah.
And then we can have at it.
Okay.
I got to put my glasses on. All right. First off, the definition of reparations: the making of amends for a wrong one has done by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged. Right? That's the definition of reparations. Now, one more thing here. So there are some who try to use Bible verses as to say, like, this is why we're owed reparations, and they misuse these verses. Now, excuse me, gotta bear with me. I'm a little all up in here,
congested,
and up in here.
Yeah.
So, now I'm in my infancy, so I could be wrong. I don't think I am, though. So I think that what they're doing is they're manipulating these words to fit their agenda or whatever message that they're trying to push as far as reparations, and to show that, hey, we deserve reparations. It's godly. It's the Bible. It's this, it's that. Now, let's be very, very clear about something. When the Bible speaks about reparations, it's talking about reparations to God. When you have wronged God, not man. When you have wronged God. Now, there are things in, I believe, Leviticus. I think it's Leviticus on repaying if you stole something. Like, there's a whole bunch of what we call, like, rules and regulations, I guess. Is that the best word for it?
Rules and instructions.
Rules and instructions.
Yeah.
There it is. Rules and instructions on what to do as far as repayment. Now, what I've read a couple of articles. Remember, I had looked this up before.
Yeah, I remember.
So I kind of had to, go back, and I couldn't find it in my book. So I kind of had to research the what's the name. And it's good that,
what's the name?
On the phone.
Okay.
Because what happened was
your history.
Yeah. So the old stuff kind of popped up ASAP when I put it in.
Right.
So those old articles popped up. Now, what they use is some things out of Exodus. Exodus 12, 35 to 36. Exodus 12, 2 to 30 through 32. Mm. Now these verses are very long, and so I don't want to, but those are the common verses that they use to justify reparations
to God.
To God.
God.
See, okay. and trying to equate what our seeking of reparations from the government or otherwise, and equating it to these reparations. Like I said, nowhere in the Bible does it speak about reparations other than to reparations to God. Mm. That's it. Mm. Now, with that being said, put my glasses to the side because I'm about to go off the dome. With that being said, my feelings is this. If you are wrong, then you should be paid reparations. And if anybody has been wronged in this country, it is us. And as far as this victim mentality, listen, being a victim does not necessarily mean that you are weak.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean that you're weak at all.
Absolutely.
You can be a victim and still be strong.
Absolutely.
Because by no means am I weak. I will literally beat the dog crap out of somebody just so I won't be a victim. Mm. But doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not.
Right.
It just means that I had enough wherewithal to get up and put the work in that was necessary to, I guess, right or wrong, or feel that I'm right and wrong. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not a victim, but it definitely doesn't mean I'm weak. Mm. So, again, with that being said, as far as the reparations, pay what you owe. Period.
Pay
what you owe.
I just I find it so interesting because so I am one of these, I read comments. I'm like a comment hawk, I guess, like when there's a post about anything, I go right to the comments, right? And what I have just found, which is consistently blows my mind, is that when there are these squatter cases and in the comment sections, they are flooded. And please get fully all of the pronunciation. They are flooded with the pay what you owe. Oh, you lames. Oh, you can't live there for free. Oh, it's not yours. Oh, this is wrong to the people that own it. Wow. Finally justice. When I see squatters thrown out, finally justice. And I say this with careful consideration of our own situation, because we were literally, we were taken to task and literally almost removed from our property by a career criminal who was a squatter. Okay. And we, unbeknownst to us, went into an agreement, a purchase of this property, leasing and then purchase of this property. Would never let us get into the purchase portion because the lease had not been completed, but went into an agreement to quote unquote lease this property in hopes that we could purchase it from someone who was literally a squatter, unbeknownst to us. And so that's why I say I'm very careful when I, craft this debate, right? I'm very careful about the choice of words that I use, because I do have to consider our own situation. Unbeknownst to us, we were defrauded. We were taken to task by a fraudulent and taken advantage of, and victims of a squatter, and victims, right? So Now, ultimately, his plan did not succeed with getting us removed from this property. And as a matter of fact, he's the one that actually got legally removed from the property through the court system. But it still didn't it still didn't make us less victims. You know what I mean? He didn't do the most of what he hoped to do, which is to remove us from our home and then start a leasing property or leasing contract or a leasing agreement all over again with someone else. But, to God be the glory, we were able to literally connect with the corporation that owns our estate. And, we were allowed grace to be able to just still be here and reside here. And, it has worked, no pun intended, to our advantage, but potentially what was at stake there. And then we did lose some time. We lost about a year of labor, lost a year of administrative duties that I was doing for this gentleman, thinking that we were potential income, thinking that I was investing this freely, but I was investing it towards the purchase of the property. So when I say that this coming to these conclusions and to having these conversations, they come from different angles or different perspectives. I call them prism perspectives, right? But it does blow my mind that in these comments, they're always flooded with and littered with all of this, these people should be, brought to justice. This is criminal. This is wrong. But I know for a fact, if you turned around and asked these same people, well, shouldn't the people that built these properties, shouldn't the people that, did the labor for these properties, should they be considered? They would say, it wouldn't get the same type of support. It wouldn't get the same type of support. There would be no response back. And I mean, in some of these people's comments, they have thousands of likes, yeah, it should be criminal. Yeah, they should be thrown into jail. Oh, shame that this owner had to deal with this. But mind you, and this is what I remind, what I say, and of course, some of my comments, I'm sure, get buried, if not even removed. But I remind them that the reason why these people were able to do this was because the owners aren't there. The owners aren't there because they feel like, because they aren't being rented out, or they might just be held just for whatever reason. They're not occupied. And so without the opportunity for occupancy, if these owners truly needed this property, they would have been residing in these properties. And so the fact of the matter is that these people did not need the property, but these people that were squatting, this is probably their only home. This is their only, space that they can go and find any type of security in. And there's a lack of humanity there.
Is that in Cobb County?
With the Tucker situation?
Yeah.
That's the cab.
The cab.
Yeah, that's our old county.
Tucker.
Yeah.
So the only reason that they even got discovered or
eyes on them. Yeah.
Eyes on them because the septic tank was broken and it leaked into the neighbor's driveway or something like that.
Right.
So when they did try to
you're not giving the context of what you're talking about, babe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so in DeKalb County, there was a group that just pretty much moved into a home. And they were, what's the name of them guys?
What do you mean? What they were affiliated with? Nature Boy. Carbon Nation.
Carbon Nation.
Yeah.
I just seen what's the name with some dude too. It was weird, but neither here nor here. Excuse me. So Nature Boy is in court, or was in court, just got sentenced, I believe, to life.
Yes.
And it just so happens that one of the guys that the news anchor caught on film was in court to testify for him.
Right.
But the judge kind of kicked him out. But anyway, that's how they ended up in the cab. So I guess they just went from the courthouse, found a house, moved in. It was empty. They went down to the water department, flashed a phony lease.
Right.
And got the water turned on. Well, the septic tank was busted and leaked into the neighbor's driveway and lawn and all that stuff like that. And so they calling the police. The police like, listen, this is a civil matter. This ain't got nothing to do with us.
Right.
No laws have been broken. However, Georgia has just changed the squatter laws too. But because there is an absentee landlord,
right,
the landlord has to issue the complaint like, hey, I need these guys out of here. Mm-hmm. But if I'm not mistaken, I think they're in Florida.
Who?
The landlord.
Landlords, yeah, they were out of South Florida, yes.
Okay, so they're in Florida. Mm-hmm. They don't give two craps about what's going on in Georgia. Until they're ready to make a move and do something with that property will just sit here. Right. Same thing with the property we're in currently right now.
Right.
So,
but luckily for us, the corporation was not in Florida. They were right in Atlanta. So that would have been another story.
What happened was, because the water was leaking out or whatever, these people were able to get the news up there. Now, mind you, the people that were squatting are black.
Occupying.
They're black
space, yes.
And the neighbors are white.
And it was a white neighborhood from what
it was white neighborhood. It looks like it was one of those neighborhoods that was predominantly white.
Right.
Because there's no such thing as white neighborhood, black neighborhood. I'm sick of hearing that crap.
Exactly. Well, it was definitely it could be mixed, but the neighbors that they were all showing, and then also to include after they were successfully removed from the property, they followed them down the street in a car. Why would you harass them?
Yeah. What are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
Where are you gonna go?
What if they would have said to your house? Let's move on in.
Clearly, they just kind of like, okay,
harassment.
Like literally, their belongings, all their belongings is on the lawn, on the sidewalk. Right. So they just like, what's our next move?
Right.
And this is what happens with evictions. Now, this case here is an extreme case. Now, with regular evictions where you just have, for whatever reason, this non-payment, they just want you out, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is what evictions do. They come to your home, knock on your door, act like you don't want to answer, they kick it in, and they just pull all your stuff out on the sidewalk. Now, it's a civil matter all the way up until you knocking on my door telling me I gotta leave.
Right.
Now you're coming with guns. Now you coming like the Gestapo. Now you coming like stormtroopers. They got to pull out my lifesaver and my blaster.
Okay. Well, I would like to also point out that Georgia is one of the few states, y'all, because if you're in Georgia, you may think that this happens everywhere, but it is not. Georgia is one of the few states where law enforcement can be contracted to
$20
in 25 to process these evictions,
25
to execute these evictions. So this is law enforcement. Instead of being out there fighting real crime, they're literally coming to homes, removing people in wheelchairs, removing elderly, removing leaving cat and dog kennel doors open so the dogs can leave. Like, this is what these law enforcement officers are doing. And when I say that this situation goes to an inhumane arena, this is where I think biblically there should be more of a force or a presence of recognition for this. And the reason how we get onto the conversation in regards to reparations and housing is, quite honestly, because again, if anyone follows this channel or subscribes to the newsletter or is aware of our mission and our services, we predominantly believe that reparations, housing should be a vehicle for reparations to be executed through. And when we look at how particularly the same demographic has been held back from opportunities to build wealth, and maybe even, I dare say that had, the 40 acres and a mule been given, because I've heard this argument from literally believers and not, but they say that, we still would have been asking for something. We'll never know because we weren't given it. And another factor I want to bring into consideration Yes,
Listen,
it is horrible,
can
Veronica. And thank you and welcome, Veronica. Good to see you back.
Before you move on.
Yeah. Because I was about to,
I know.
Yeah.
But before you move on, and I'm gonna let you finish making your point.
Because I don't know where I am now.
You know where we went? You want me to hit the rewind button?
No, just go ahead. I'll probably come back on it.
We would probably be asking for something else. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, I know what I was
reparations didn't actually become
a conversation.
A conversation until I want to say
a real conversation until the 60s, the 50s, 60s.
I would say after the voting thing.
Yeah, that was like late 60s, so it's like 60s, 70s was when 70s. Right, and they produced this council that was saying, hey, let's.
And you can kind of like draw a direct line to this is when we lost ownership of whatever we had. This is when the civil rights,
when integration went into place. Yes, and we lost those businesses, those homes.
When integration came in, we lost. Man, I used to have the numbers on that too.
Yes, you did.
I used to have the numbers on that.
You have it in your.
Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm a little, and I kind of know it's in that book.
It's in the other book. Yeah, it's in.
But
journal.
These numbers, when you look at these numbers is ridiculously high on what was lost.
Yeah.
And we talking 80%, 90%, like nothing. And I mean nothing was under 80% loss. So when you look at the numbers on what we lost because of integration, and then the what do you call it? The reparations talk came in. So you say we've been asked for something else. I beg to differ. Because we didn't care about reparations when we own
stuff. Yeah, when we own stuff. If like just leave us alone was a person, was a people. This is us. Like when we have our own, we don't have no problems. It is until we don't have, and you look up and you're like, well then who has it? Okay, well then who stole it? So my point after saying that, they say, oh well, we would just still be asking for something that we'll never know because we weren't given it. It was given and then rescinded. But the other part of that is when people say the question of why now in regards to reparations, they act as though we were being talked to and we were being negotiated with when we just came out of slavery. And they say, oh, well, you guys didn't work. You guys, but you were having all of these great conversations with literally people that you just owned. You were ready to have all of these, academic and studious conversations with people that you literally just owned. So let's be quite honest. You were not ready to have it. You didn't want to have it then. You don't want to have it now. The bottom line is that you just don't want to have the conversation because you don't want to execute what it takes to whatever that reality is going to be. You don't want that executed. You don't want that transfer of wealth really established. And so again, going back to these commenters, that don't even like to write back or respond, but maybe they haven't seen it because maybe my comments have gotten pulled. But the ones that have seen it, you're cowards because you're full up, say this behind a screen and say, oh, these people, oh, squatters. And I dare say a couple of years ago, somebody even wrote when I was talking about how hijacking homes should be a real threat to these communities where all of these empty homes are, but you have all this homelessness. And this was even before we lived here. So that's how ahead of just the thinking that I was, because I was recognizing this, because this is just very heavy in Georgia, particularly, specifically, because and when I lived in Miami, there were a couple of empty houses here and there, but I mean, here in Georgia and different places here in Georgia, there are literally neighborhoods that are empty. and that people will be meeting and having these affordable housing meetings and having these government meetings about, the homelessness population, but nobody's really addressing the fact that we have these empty properties and nobody's making these owners do anything with them. So let's not pretend like you want to have this conversation. Let's not pretend like the people, when you owned people as though they were as though they were animals. Don't act like you were ready to have that conversation with them literally the next year after they were no longer considered legally. Empty houses going to waste. Exactly right, Veronica.
So,
and it's disgusting that these same people that know that these houses are empty and going to waste will look into their community that is in need and say, we have a housing crisis. I dare say, which I always quote and give credit to Elaine Brown from the New Black Power Party. America does not have a housing crisis. It has a housing Black people crisis, period.
So,
go ahead.
I went and got the numbers. Well, some of the numbers. Yeah. I have more extensive numbers. This, I don't know, this must have been research for something else, but it is some of those numbers. Now, since you started with the housing Black people, so
right
in this country we are 12.7% of the population, but we are 43.9. No, just 43% of the homeless population.
43.
That's almost
50%.
Almost half.
Almost 50%. And remember, babe, me and Monica, we always have this discussion because some people it would be probably into the 50s and 60s. They don't consider themselves homeless because
they live with they
live with their people. Yeah, they live with their cousin. They live with
sleep on the couch, so I'm not homeless.
I'm not homeless, but they are.
Homeless,
they are because you don't have your own home. You are, and this is what also is a kick in the most sensitive part of your bodies, whatever it is that there are literally enough empty homes to accommodate everybody homeless. Because some people, let's be honest, some people are homeless by choice. They don't want they don't want the responsibilities of having to upkeep and keep up property and that sort of thing, paying property taxes. I get it. That's some people. But again, rent should be a choice, truly. It should not be something that you just know you're going to have to get into because other than that, you're not going to have a place to live. Good.
Okay. So right now, in the 1960s, Black home ownership was up 38%.
Right.
Right. I don't have the exact number now, but I know right now it's under 30%. I believe it's around 27. I'm not sure. I would have to double check that. Now, prior to integration,
and it's the lowest now that it's ever been.
Yeah,
it's the lowest now that it's ever been, and I think that we are coming up hovering right above 20%.
After what was 1965?
You talking about the voters, right? Yeah, 1965.
Okay, after 1965, that's when integration was, pretty much at its peak. That's when it actually started.
All right.
We lost 80% of the farms. Black-owned farms, 80%. Black-owned businesses, 90% of them gone. All this is gone. Two-parent homes was the norm.
Right.
I don't even remember what the number is now, but it's something ridiculously high on single parent homes. It's like I said, I don't have the complete numbers right there. I used to. They're in there somewhere. I just don't want to dig them up because it's going to take too much time. But I actually did the research on all of this and actually had it laid out. I think I did a post on TikTok.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But on this exact subject, on integration and if the civil rights actually helped or hurt us in the long run, Dr. King was right. He led us into a burning building.
Yeah, absolutely. And to take that back to Dr. King, because again, before his assassination, he definitely did change his position regarding reparations.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, he said, I'm going to Washington to get us that check. This is not just a question about, let's be peaceful and let's go to school together and let's integrate these communities. Like, we're being put into these communities without the same type of confidence nor economical backing that these other people are. So give us these economical backing. Let us also have the choice of going into these communities or strengthening our own. And that was where the hit was put out for his life.
Here's the thing, everybody, saying cut the check, and that's cool. But listen, reparations has to be more than just money.
It has to be, right?
Okay, because look.
Well, I think even when he said it, it was more so. It wasn't like literally just monetary, but he was just saying that he was going to get a check.
See, this is the problem, because they know this,
right?
And the real people, the real ones behind the scenes that spearheaded reparations, it's about more than money.
Yeah.
Okay, so they put forth, these goofballs running around reparations. We need $2 million for every black man. All this old goofiness. Listen, y'all stupid. Shut up. Because if it was just money, that's easy. They just cut your head, take the money, go.
Right.
Because it's a one-shot deal.
Right.
Because 9 times if you just give cash, you're gonna have pockets where you just take that cash. Either they gonna boogie, they gonna get about a Dodge, or they're gonna plant flags and they're gonna start buying up some stuff. But it's gonna be small pockets.
Right.
And for the most part, you give it about 3, 4, maybe 5 years, we're gonna be back in the same position we in. So it's gotta be more than just cash. And I've said this before, and I will say it's probably to the day I die. In this country, the land is the power.
Of course.
The land is the power.
And I think this
they ain't making no more of that. You can make a dollar bill, but you can't make an acre of land.
Well, this is also what goes back to what brings the conversation literally right back to biblical versus political. Because when we're talking about biblically speaking, there is plenty of scripture about land being given to God's people, right? It talks about going into different lands and being taken from your own land and going into different lands and making to work that land. This is what makes the argument or the distinction about Black people being the actual chosen people, because literally, as Dr. King also cited during that famous interview where he talked about going to Washington and getting that check. He said that Black people were literally the only people that had been slaves on American soil. So when people want to make this conversation about, everybody was a slave at some point in time in U.S. history, okay, but we're talking about the U.S. So this is why it is imperative for the U.S. to do this corrective manner, for this atonement to be practiced, okay? Not granted, but practice. Now, I did hear a couple of members of the clergy or members from the pulpit that have also said that saying that we need the reparations is giving too much power to our government, because the only thing that we need, God gives. And trust and believe me, I hear you. I do hear you loud and clear. As I always tell my husband, there is nothing that anybody can ever do or say to me to make me think that God does not exist, because I have literally lived a good portion of my life not working for anybody else, but always a way is made. And I'm talking about, I've lived in some very nice homes and just I've been afforded great opportunities. And up until last week, I was having scallops and brie every day for lunch, I know, but no, that's for the next Freestyle Friday. And so that's or when the kids get back. I don't need you fixing up your face. Stop it. But at any rate, I have been I've been afforded a lot of things that I think that, outside looking in, people would think, oh, you have to be, making this type of money to live this way and to have this and have that. And God provides. And I'm a believer in this wholeheartedly.
COVID should have told everybody that you do not need a 9 to 5 to get by.
You don't.
Just to get
but
by.
I mean,
just to get by.
Even before that, I'm just saying that I get it that, it's not about going to the government with your hand out. But this is something that literally, I mean, if you are a believer, I can't imagine that, again, you're a believer and you've read these scriptures and you understand sound doctrine, and you come away from there saying, no, these people just should be, left to whatever comes what may. Because even in your heart of hearts, there's not a church that I have ever been affiliated with or don't know of that did not say, we do something to support these other third world countries because they're so poor over there. And to be able to look past your own demographic and your own communities, there is something wrong, as Prophetess Juanita Bynum would say. There is something wrong with that picture that you can look through. You can look past these people in your very community that need housing, that need solid water, running water, that need these basic things. And these are human beings in your community, whether they are members of your church or not. For you to look past that and say, you know what? We need to help these third world countries, right? But you're reading from this book that preaches sound doctrine and what Jesus has done for what he did for the church, what God has done for his people. And you're looking at your community, again, whether they're members of your church or not, but you're looking at this community and you're saying, we're not going to try to put anything in place for that. So that is what I think is very political. And this is why when it goes to political, you're on the side of it necessarily for position gain. And that's wrong. But when we talk about reparations, absolutely, I believe it's biblical.
That's an awesome point you just made.
Oh,
about the third world countries, and y'all going down there with these.
They missions. Do. They love to go to those missions.
My boss just did that.
Yes, yeah, they love to go on these missions. Yeah,
literally just did that. Just came back like I think a month last month. He came back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So this is a good point. I never even but I want to say this too though. You wearing that? Hold up, that green.
I thought it was cute that we matched. That's why I told you to put.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about. But I'm saying you like.
But you should have had on your camos. I love this color.
But you're wearing the green, though. You're wearing
it. Thank you, babe. I feel it too. I love this.
We might have to cut this short.
It's not. We only have 10 minutes left. Thank you.
We might only have 5 left. You're wearing that green,
babe. Thank you. So I do actually believe that it is biblical. I do believe that it is biblical. I believe that it is only right. I believe that I feel like there is literally a chokehold on this country if reparations are not granted. Veronica's laughing. Oh, let's look at who's there. The banker is in. Hey, the banker. Did you send her the video? Yeah, send her the video. I told you to do that.
I forgot. I ain't said it. Hey, on Facebook and check it out.
Hey, no, she's not on Facebook.
Oh, somebody on Facebook?
No, send her the video.
Okay. Get off.
Okay.
Listen, I got mad questions over here. 3, 6.
Oh, those are mine for you.
I know.
Oh, wow. I only have 3. Wow. Okay, we can do 2 now, and then we'll work on the other ones.
We can do 3.
No, let's do 2.
I'm gonna do 3.
Okay, you'll do 3. All right, you go first. That's good. All right, y'all. We're in the last 10 minutes. So, she said she just has Insta. She doesn't have Facebook. That's the banker, y'all.
The mystery. We're gonna talk about that mystery thing too.
He didn't like that he was the mystery, but you were right, Put. I think that he is the mystery.
When do you think God has been most proud of you?
Oh, that's good. So
Most
read it
proud?
again because I don't know if you caught it.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do you think God has been most proud of you?
That was my question for him.
Um.
Oh, she said it was a good question, so she did hear it. When do you think God has been most proud of you? Oh, I do have 3 questions.
Oh, so you know what? Over the last 6 months or so, I have been I have shown a lot of self control.
You have.
There has been a couple of instances where, in the past, I probably would have had a court date.
Oh, so somebody has a question. Go ahead, baby. You want to finish?
No. Yeah, I probably would have had a couple of court dates.
You would have. So, and I didn't even know you back there, but I know you would have.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think over the last like 6-7 months or so,
you would have.
Yeah.
And one thing for sure in regards to
this,
I know, and that's
I don't even want to get into that. But
let's go to this question. I love this. Question? Why want reparations in a failing economy? Because it's not about the money. It's not. That's what we keep saying. It's not about the money.
And I'm gonna tell you something like this.
And land ain't ever gonna go out of style.
In the failing economy, right? First of all, let's be clear about who would actually pay the reparations.
Right.
Okay, so you have literally thriving banks right now.
Thriving.
That participated in the slave trade.
That used us for credit and insurance. Yes.
You have actual families that are still profiting off of the plantations that they own slaves on.
Come on.
The governor of Georgia being one of them.
Come on.
Still profiting.
Kemp. Yes.
Kemp himself.
The biggest plantation corporation in the nation.
Right now they have is the nation of Georgia.
No, it's the nation. Rhymes. Yes. Okay. Plantation corporation of the nation, the biggest.
So
yes.
It ain't about hitting the government.
Yeah.
Although
the government is part of that.
That's part. Yeah. They would be part of it. But it has to be more than just cash.
Yeah.
And let's be very, very clear. Reparations might actually save the economy because you're talking about an influx of serious cash going back into the economy. Not everybody's going to run off out of the country. I mean, we out.
Well, it's circular. And I do think, like I always say, I think that it's important to still have property here.
Excuse me.
Because, because I do have members of my own family, including, put there that says, she would say, when I help people, I can't pinpoint because it happens random times. So that's when she thinks God is most proud of her. So I appreciate that you answering the question too. But, my kids don't necessarily want to leave the country. If I'm coming back and I visit them, the reality is if I perish here, I don't want them to have to worry about getting my body back over to, where we come from. I just want to be able to have some property there too.
Really? You want me to answer this?
You want to say that later? No, because you always talk about like your physique, like when you were footballing.
That was 40 years ago.
It wasn't. It wasn't. You were not 10. Yeah.
Well, I was a beast.
Yeah. At 10, you was a beast.
What?
So that's what I meant. I ain't mean like. She said she only wants a vacation out of town. Veronica says she believes it. No, it is true. And so I want everyone to just put this in perspective. Can we just for a second put this in perspective, guys? The picture that was in the thumbnail, that is the picture that we moved here to purchase. And mind you, that means almost $20,000 went into that property only for us not to be able to close on it.
Yeah.
So 13 of that just gone. And it helped. You're welcome. The people that actually purchased it about 4 months ago, the roof, that's because of us. It was already surveyed and already
everything was done. Everything was done.
It was
they had to do nothing.
We were getting ready for it to move in for us.
Which is probably why he was able to break it down.
The new appraisal and the survey we paid for before it was even moved into.
And the roof.
And Pud says she wants her room, and we still want it. So yes, reparations comes. That's exactly what we want. We're ready.
Get something big and better.
No, I want that.
James
That's
spread.
what we moved here for.
I want James spread.
So we can have that and that.
All of it.
We can have that and that. But when reparations, with reparations being activated, that's how we want ours. We want ours in plantation.
I can answer this right now.
Have you prayed today?
Yes, I have.
All right. Oh, I haven't even answered one, and you've answered two.
I got mad questions over
here. So, what's something new? My question is, because you guys remember Wednesday is also our date night. So, what's something new you would like to try together? Well, we it's not something new, but I do like that that you committed, that you just said that we could do Oathos class together. That's gonna be good, the spiritual growth class, because Torah is good, but I feel like this is gonna be, I like this is because Torah is with our church.
I'm saying
Otho is just kind of independent.
Lion Feast,
so, that's not his name.
Listen, look, our fellow need to look Lion Feast.
Okay.
Look. I'm not
okay.
Sunday at 7.
Yeah, Sunday 7 p.m. Yeah, I like doing that, and I would like us to take a dance class together though too. I think that would be fun. Because when we were dancing the Smooth the other night, I was doing my own routine and you was doing your own routine. I want us to get a routine together. So I do like your trick that you did about yeah, I love that. That was good.
What things make New York so different?
Yeah,
it's New York.
No, but I mean specifically, babe. Besides your dollar pizzas on every corner.
It's not. First of all, dollar pizza is not on every corner.
Pud is here in the room. Pud, was it $1 on every corner? Every corner said you want a slice.
One spot on 3rd Avenue.
Do you want a slice? Every time you want a slice, we're going to get a slice. We're going to get a slice. These people aren't all going to 3rd. They aren't all going to 3rd for that slice. These dollar slices are everywhere. She said, yeah. She said, yeah. Dollar slices everywhere.
What makes New York different?
Yeah.
Our grind,
your rudeness.
We're not rude.
You are rude.
It's not rude.
I don't know why you don't want to be honest.
Because
you're talking to the.
We're not rude. We
not being honest.
Rough.
Y'all rude.
Nah, whatever. But nah, it's,
oh my gosh,
the toughness.
Look at that back to back. Because what was my question? Have you prayed today?
Yeah, what's that?
It said, if there's one daily habit that you would like me to do every day, what would it be? Pray. Like how I said I wanted to pray every morning. And I literally said that's Sunday.
That's all your questions?
No, I have one more.
All right, hold up. Wait. I got like mad questions. I'm gonna do 2.
All right, we only have a few seconds left. You all, if you have not, please make sure you hit that website. I want to thank everyone because we are up about 10% on our website.
I'm not going to answer that one.
You already know. I do. So be quiet. Make sure you hit that website. I do appreciate everyone because we are up 10%, and I'm so excited because you all, P4R.today, we struggle to stay in that 80% range, 70-80%. Colored Only Cafe has no problem. Colored Only Cafe is 98 to 100%. I don't know whether it's just because of the name or, just because that's what the community pantry and the No Pay Cafe are attached to. But we have no problem in getting people to hit that website. But when it comes to P4R.today, I don't know, y'all afraid of it. Y'all think that if y'all found going on plantation for reparations, y'all boss can call y'all in, say, what y'all doing over there? You part of that uprising. But please, we need your energy and we appreciate your energy. And right now, you can definitely get the subscription for free. And every month, you all, we have literally a village build where you can talk to actual people that are interested not just in having these conversations, but truly building a community together. And it is imperative now more than ever that we need to start to choose our neighbors, because I believe very shortly your neighbors, depending on how much you're making, are going to be chosen for you.
Okay. Why must you tell Nas Khalees is a weirdo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? Because you're rude. Because you're from New York.
Nah, I'm not rude.
Yeah.
And Nas from New York. So
exactly.
He already know how I'm coming.
No, he knows he's going to understand that. Oh, wow, he's being rude.
Nah,
like
he
how
gonna
we
be
are.
right there, homie. You right.
No, he's not.
Cause you know why he need to know? Because he know we wild out with that.
He did not. And I think I'm going to just say this for the record.
He wild
because
out
I wasn't expecting that to be on. And we're going to be shutting down because I don't know where the rest of these go. No, babe. Come on.
Questions over here.
We don't have to do them all on camera.
I thought you said we was emptying the jar.
We can empty the jar, but we don't have to do them all on camera about to close out. Hello. I just want no, because I didn't even get to respond to that. I just want to say that I think Khalees is a beautiful human being. I always have, and even to the point, you do not ever give her no props. It's always she was weirdo. Stop it. But I even before, and so much so that I used to really, really, really like Nas, but out of respect for that whole relationship, I shut that down. That and also the fact that I gave him my number and he never called. I didn't appreciate that. So I was like, well, when they got married, I was like, well, that's probably why they was probably already dating.
He married the widow.
She's not weird. At any rate, I never seen so much trash on God. That's what Put said about New York.
I seen it.
That's interesting. So that's one of the things that make NY different.
She never see so much trash. Nah. That's because she ain't go back there before we cleaned it up.
No, that's before we even got here.
Yeah, well, she was seeing more trash.
That is not true. That's all over the city, though. Babe.
No, it ain't.
It was all the city. I tell you what made it different for me, and I didn't get to tell this last time when I said was New York ball, was the fact that as we were riding from the park, and somebody was literally telling me and the children that, it was not a big deal. It's not a lot of crime, because we were laughing about how there were cops everywhere. Everywhere.
What I was saying
it was a Law and Order episode.
8 million people in New York City.
It was a Law and Order episode ready to happen everywhere. We were literally just joking about this, and he was saying, nah, it's not that. I know, Naima, we had this conversation before. See, another point in time, we might have had the little rough. We might have had to tussle. but I'm cool on it now. I got me in New York. Anyway, at any rate, we were literally tussling for nothing. We were literally riding from the park, and somebody was telling me, y'all are making the big deal. It's not like that, blah, blah, blah. And literally the radio said there was a gentleman that had just knocked somebody over the head. Okay. Naima said, Greece, that she don't think New Yorkers are rude. Naima, you ain't got a front over here. But literally the reports came on the radio, said that there was a gentleman that had just knocked somebody over the head with a baseball bat. He had 2 victims, and he was still at large with the baseball bat. So this literally came after somebody telling us we was exaggerating, wasn't that big of a deal. And so, and at that point, we're riding past, and I'm looking at these sidewalks, I'm just gonna see somebody with the baseball bat.
Did somebody just not get their whole face hacked off?
Okay, a lot of stuff was happening here, but that still don't take away that conversation.
But I'm just saying, stuff like that happened.
That's still
between a baseball bat and a machete. Wait,
you have to admit that whole situation was comical, because you were literally just telling us that we were exaggerating. It wasn't that bad, and then news alert. Somebody might be walking down the street right now, and y'all, we were riding, right? And it was Leslie sidewalk. I was looking over my shoulder any moment I would see somebody coming off the side with a bat. Veronica said, wow. Yeah, true story. So with that being said, y'all, that's our time. Make sure, please, to tune back in Friday. No, you're done with those questions for the day. For this show. Friday, we are having Couple of Forevers. I don't know if our guest is ready just yet to talk on Friday. But truth be told, I'm kind of getting I'm kind of getting a little groove with us just being a couple of favorites, but it's time for us to have another couple on. So prayerfully, we'll be able to have the guest of our choice. Well, they're both our choice, but we've been delaying one particularly as she is as she's sorting through some things, understandably, but we're looking forward to her. What time on Friday? We usually go on with a couple of forevers at 8, but it's house fires this Friday, so we might have to move that to Saturday anyway. Yeah,
not necessarily.
Yeah,
going earlier
then. But if we like to put it at 7 or 8, I don't want to be stacking it all that on. We might have to. It might be a couple of favors. Yeah, it might be a couple of favors on Saturday because we did Sunday for our anniversary, so we might just do Saturday this week because it is house fires this Friday, which I just remember 7 p.m. 7 to 9. Yeah. Thank you so much, Veronica, for asking. And y'all, please make sure you visit P4R.today and check us out next Thursday on Too Raw for TV because, y'all, the first Thursday of every month, we are Too Raw for TV with our That Rent. Until next time. Dos.